Hey guys, just before the video starts, I'd ask you to hit the like button. It really helps my channel grow and it helps my content get out there, so thank you very much. Hello everybody, I'm bringing something a little different today. We're going to be watching a YouTube video about why this YouTube channel, Josepho Vlogs, does not like the Netherlands and thinks it's the worst country in Europe compared to all other countries. And so this video has 46,000 views, almost 900 likes, and 3.8 thousand dislikes. So I think that shows you guys what this video is going to be like. But also there's a version in Spanish here, and it'll be interesting to go over and look. This one has 700,000 views, 8,000 likes, and 3.8 thousand dislikes. So interesting to note that. So I'll get started watching here, and you guys can watch along with me.
Hello, fellow travelers. Today, I'm going to tell you about a country that I didn't like. Officially, it is named the Netherlands, but my experience was specifically in the Holland region, in the city of Amsterdam.
So first off, we see a problem here. So she's basically drawing her conclusion about the entire country of the Netherlands just based on her experience in Amsterdam.
The country of Holland is full of attractive people. Many people would like to move there to find love, because the Dutch are very good-looking people. People claim that there are jobs there, and that it's a very special country. I found out about this country online.
I'd say in general, whether you find Dutch people attractive or not is based on your preferences. For example, the Dutch people are the tallest people in the world. So if you like tall people, then you'd like Dutch people. But again, it's about your preferences.
When I arrived in this country with my son, the very first day was snowy. I stayed at Schiphol Airport for the first night.
I just want to say that in general, I mean, most of you are probably Dutch watching this, but you can attest to the fact that the Netherlands doesn't get snow all that often, and she will go on to elaborate how it's constantly snowing there. I know the canals just froze over there, which was kind of cool, but aside from that, it's not like winters are completely snowy all the time or anything like that.
Because we landed late and security personnel mistreated us and were racist towards us. Most people spoke Dutch, which is a very hard language to learn. Some people
And another thing I want to just talk about here is that she's saying the Netherlands is bad just because they speak Dutch, and that's kind of offensive. She just called out some staff for being racist, and she is being prejudiced against the Dutch people just based on the language they speak and nothing else.
also spoke English as a secondary language, but it was broken English, therefore it was very hard to communicate with them.
I just want to say a majority of Dutch people know how to speak English well, and almost all Dutch people know at least a little bit of English, especially somebody who'd be working in an airport.
I struggled, as the airport was the first encounter I ever had with the Dutch. The next day, I went to my hotel, which, by the way, was very expensive. I did not find any cheap hotels to stay at within the city of Amsterdam.
That's another thing about her perspective on the Netherlands. Of course, if you go to any large city, it's going to be very expensive. Not everywhere is going to be cheap because you're staying in a place with a very high demand for bedding. So if you would have gone to a smaller city or maybe somewhere out in the countryside, then you would have been met with much lower hotel prices.
I spent too much money. After staying 2 months in Amsterdam, I suffered so much. I wanted to leave, and I ended up completely broke.
All I have to say is, if you're planning on staying in Amsterdam for 2 months, then you're going to expect to spend money. I mean, honestly, if you're going to stay anywhere, any big city, for 2 months, you're going to expect to spend a pretty decent chunk of money. Because unless you're leasing an apartment or something, hotels will be very expensive pretty much no matter where you are.
It was freezing there. There was too much snow and many bicycles everywhere, because the Dutch culture involves riding a bike everywhere, since the country is little.
Personally, I don't see bike travel as a problem. She can personally dislike bikes, but I like them a lot better than having a bunch of cars in the road.
The Netherlands being a car-free country, there are not many cars around.
Again, this is a pure perspective on Amsterdam and not really anywhere else. Obviously, if you live in the countryside, you can't bike everywhere.
As I said earlier, the Dutch are very attractive people physically, but they are very cold and they will not socialize with you.
Personally, I feel like this might be an attitude problem of herself because she has such a negative outlook on the Netherlands that she's generally not going to try to be nice to people and socialize with people.
They will never talk to you out of the blue. Instead, they just show you a fake smile. The fact that they constantly said, "Hello, hello," annoyed me so much, and I didn't like it at all.
It's funny to me that she's complaining about nobody greeting her or talking to her, but people were clearly saying hello to her.
That's how they communicate, so you move out of their way. Because they are commuting through the city using bicycles. There are also railways for cable cars on the streets, with the buses and cars and bikes. All of them using the same roads. I found it quite unorganized. It is a very small city, beautiful and old-fashioned, but it is full of canals and rivers, which I didn't like. I suffered so much.
That's another thing. A lot of this is just preference, and my question to her is if she had a preference for non canal cities, why did she come to Amsterdam?
I became depressed since I spent so much money. I never even found a job to sustain myself, and I've been ripped off by 2 Dutch employment agencies.
I don't really know who wants to employ you for just 2 months if you're going to stay there for just 2 months. So I honestly don't blame employers also because of your attitude.
Because they demand you meet so many requirements to work, and it's a very closed country, you can't work or have access to basic services as a foreigner. If you are an American, I guess the same principles applies to any non-European foreigner.
I think she's Spanish just based on the rest of her channel, and the EU requires work laws. So I don't really know where she's getting this information from. I think she's probably just shooting too high and wanted a job that was above her pay grade. So again, I think this is part of her attitude.
You have 0 possibilities of working in the Netherlands. I lived in Amsterdam, and after doing so for a time, there's nothing left for us.
Again, if you want to come to the Netherlands and work, you're going to have to immigrate just like any other country and get a green card or an equivalent.
Let's also not forget that the Dutch are stingy and greedy. In most cases, they will not give you a handout if you're in need. Some people point out the greatness of the welfare that citizens of the European Union can benefit from, but that...
Again, I don't know what she expects of everybody, but I'm sure if she just went out in the street and demanded €5 from somebody, I don't think they would give it to her, and for good reason.
Because I've met many people from Europe who still had nothing while there, as they spent all their money in that country, and especially in the city of Amsterdam.
Again, she's not a Dutch taxpayer. She just visited the city for a few months, so I don't think she should expect the things that Dutch citizens expect. And generally, you just have to do paperwork to emigrate, and it doesn't sound like she's done any.
They read on the internet that it is supposed to be the best country and that there are plenty of opportunities. But it's not true. Forget about going there if you don't have any money, because if you're unlucky and end up homeless, you can't even exist there. The police will arrest you and fine you if they see you sleeping on the streets. I met a girl from Germany, and she had a tough...
Again, if you go to any major city and don't have a job lined up, you're not going to get free housing or free money just by being in that city.
She had trouble saving up money working at bars and hotels. Even with 2 jobs, she was not able to save enough money to survive. It is very hard because the system is made to benefit older people. Older people's wages are way higher than young people's. It's a system where the older you get,
Again,
the
the
more
city
you get
isn't
paid.
for everybody. Again, if you go to any country across the entire world, I'm sure there are a few exceptions. This will be the case because generally older workers have more experience and therefore they should be paid more.
The most important thing you need to know before moving to the Netherlands is to bring a lot of money with you, because you are going to spend a lot on hotels and going out.
If you have a job lined up, then you don't need to worry about bringing a lot of money. Also, if you have a job lined up, then you should be able to get good housing, and also you don't need to go out every single day because clearly she's just blowing money on going out and buying food when she could be going to the grocery store like a normal person and making it. I'll put a link down to this video in the description if you guys want to go take a look at it. There also is a Spanish version available, as I said before. But yeah, if you guys liked this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Thank you very much.